The city never truly sleeps, but at 3 a.m., it at least pretends to. Detective Alex Vance steered his beat-up sedan through the rain-slicked streets, the neon signs bleeding into puddles on the asphalt. Next to him, Detective Sarah Jenkins took a long sip of her coffee, the only warmth in the car. Another one. Huh? Sarah's voice was low, tired. The third this month. The Velvet Phantom strikes again, Alex muttered, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. The media had a field day with the name. A thief who only targeted high-end art galleries, leaving behind a single, perfect velvet rose. No forced entry, no broken glass, no witnesses. Just an empty space where a masterpiece used to be. Tonight's target was the prestigious Sterling Gallery. We arrived to find the place crawling with uniforms, but the scene was just as pristine as the others. The gallery owner, a man named Julian Croft, was pacing frantically, his expensive suit rumpled. "It's gone." The Starlight Serenade by Dubois vanished, he exclaimed, running a hand through his thinning hair. "How?" "The security system is state-of-the-art. Motion sensors, pressure plates, laser grids. Nothing was tripped." Sarah knelt, examining the empty pedestal where the multi-million-dollar painting once stood. She pulled out a small evidence bag. "Not quite nothing, Julian." Inside was the Phantom's signature, a flawless, deep red velvet rose. Alex walked the perimeter. The windows were sealed, the doors locked from the inside. "It's like they walk through walls," he said, rejoining Sarah. "No alarms, no entry points. This isn't a simple theft, it's a magic trick." "Magicians use misdirection, Alex," Sarah countered, her eyes scanning every inch of the room. "And this magician is leaving a clue." "Why the rose?" "It's theatrical. It's a statement." Back at the precinct, the evidence board was a spiderweb of connections, or rather, a lack thereof. 3 galleries, 3 priceless paintings, 3 velvet roses. The only link was that all 3 galleries used security systems from the same company. Fortress Security. "Let's pay a visit to Fortress Security," Alex suggested, pointing at the logo on the board. "Maybe our Phantom isn't a ghost, but a very clever technician." The CEO of Fortress Security, a slick man named Marcus Thorne, was all smiles and reassurances. "Our systems are unbreachable, detectives, I assure you. This thief must have some other method, perhaps an inside job." It was smooth, too smooth. Sarah wasn't buying it. "Can we see the installation records for the 3 galleries that were hit?" she asked, her tone polite but firm. Thorne hesitated for a split second, a flicker in his eyes. "Of course, my assistant will get those for you." As we waited, Sarah whispered to Alex, "He's hiding something." His cufflinks, they had a rose insignia, a very specific, 5-petaled rose, just like the ones on the velvet flowers, Alex finished, his mind racing. The files arrived. Sarah and I spent the next few hours poring over technical manuals and employee logs. And then we found it. A single name appeared on the installation and maintenance logs for all 3 galleries. A technician named Leo Sterling. Sterling, the same last name as the gallery owner from last night. We pulled up Leo's file. He was a brilliant but disgruntled former employee of Fortress Security, fired by Marcus Thorne 6 months ago for creative insubordination. His specialty: bypassing complex security systems. A quick background check on Julian Croft, the gallery owner, revealed he was in deep financial trouble, on the verge of bankruptcy. The painting, the Starlight Serenade, was insured for double its market value. The pieces started to click into place. "It's an insurance scam," Alex declared. "Croft hired Leo to steal his own painting. But what about the other 2 thefts?" "Leverage," Sarah said, her eyes alight with understanding. "Leo didn't just help Croft. He performed the other 2 thefts to establish the Velvet Phantoms. M.O. He needed the pattern to be believable, and in doing so, he implicated his old boss, Thorne, whose company was responsible for the security. We had a theory, but we needed proof. Where was Leo, and where were the paintings? His last known address was a rundown workshop on the industrial side of town. We didn't call for backup. This needed a delicate touch. The workshop was dark, the windows covered. Alex picked the lock, and we slipped inside, flashlights cutting through the gloom. The air smelled of oil and dust, and in the center of the room, under a single bare bulb, were all 3 stolen paintings, carefully wrapped, and standing beside them, admiring his work, was Leo Sterling. He wasn't surprised to see us. He simply smiled, a sad, knowing smile. "Took you long enough, detectives," he said calmly. "It's over, Leo," Sarah said, her voice steady. "Is it?" Leo replied. "I'm not the villain here. Marcus Thorne stole my designs, my career, and then fired me. Julian Croft was a desperate man. I just gave them both what they wanted, and I made sure the art was safe." He gestured to the paintings. "Art shouldn't be a commodity for the rich. It should be free." Suddenly, the side door burst open. It was Julian Croft, his face pale with panic. "Leo, what's going on?" "The police." He stopped dead when he saw us. At that exact moment, a third figure emerged from the shadows. Marcus Thorne, the CEO, holding a small, silver pistol. "You've all been very disappointing," Thorne sneered, his confident facade gone, replaced by a cold fury. "Lil, you were supposed to disappear. And Julian, you were supposed to be a grieving victim, not an idiot. You were in on it from the beginning," Alex stated, connecting the final dot. "You used Leo to expose flaws in your own system, planning to sell the galleries an upgraded, phantom-proof package at a premium. The thefts were your marketing." Thorne laughed, a chilling sound. "Bravo, detective. But this is where your story ends." He raised the pistol, but he underestimated Sarah. In a flash, she kicked over a heavy workbench, sending tools scattering across the floor. The clatter was the only distraction Alex needed. He lunged, tackling Thorne to the ground. The gun went off, the shot echoing harmlessly into the ceiling. Within minutes, the workshop was filled with the flashing red and blue lights we should have called for earlier. Croft and Thorne were in cuffs, their elaborate scheme in ruins. Leo Sterling stood by, his expression unreadable. He hadn't resisted. As they led him away, he looked at Sarah. "Oh, the rose," he said softly. "It was my mother's favorite flower. She was an artist. She believed beauty should never be locked away." Watching the police cars pull away, Alex turned to Sarah. A thief, an insurance fraud, and a corporate conspiracy, all wrapped up in one. Sarah looked out at the city, the first hints of dawn breaking over the horizon. "Just another night in the city," she said, a small smile playing on her lips. "Coffee?" Alex nodded. "You're buying." And as we drove off, the case of the Velvet Phantom was closed. But we both knew, in a city like this, it wouldn't be long before another puzzle landed on our doorstep. Make sure you subscribe, because you won't want to miss what happens next. Thanks for watching.